A few years ago, when Twitch streaming first came into massive popularity, there was many a boomer father who spoke the question,
why would anyone want to watch someone else play video games?
And while probably many a kid rolled their eyes, it's actually a question that directly relates to the music or life that you want to create. Let's get into it. So firstly, to answer Dad's question, who wants to watch other people play video games? The answer actually is, well, almost no one. Like sports, like music, like most everything, people want to watch a very select few of the practitioners of that medium. In fact, 93% of Twitch channels have 5 or less viewers, basically 0. Meaning that of all the people trying to stream, a very tiny percentage are succeeding at making it worth watching in any real way, at least when it comes to viewership numbers. And it's really not very different on the music side. 86% of tracks on Spotify have been streamed under 1,000 times. And to narrow that even more, 67 million of those tracks have been streamed 10 times or less. Now, to be clear, streams or numbers of viewers is by no means the only metric, and there's plenty of popular things that are not good or at least bad for you. But what does this data tell us? Does it tell us what is good music and that almost everything is garbage? Well, not exactly. So if you want to have a chance of any conventional success in music and sports and relationship and a job and basically anywhere, they all share a fundamental need. You will have to find a way to be useful. And this is the key metric. What makes someone want to watch someone play video games is that that person playing video games is useful to the viewer, basically as an entertainer, or as an expert craftsman, or as a teacher, or something. And that's the main metric that both streamers and most music creators and most content creators often fail to understand. Although it might be quite entertaining, personally useful to you to make and create the content the way you want to, that really has minimal bearing on if it is actually useful to anyone else. Oh, okay, so I'll just find what makes me useful and do exactly that, and I will make my music good.
Yes, but actually no.
Great art and great content generally lies at the center of 3 forces. Usefulness, yes, but authenticity and creativity as well. Now, if you want success, meaning the metrics and trappings and output from other people, it's heavily correlated with usefulness, but it's not so simple. So the high prioritization of usefulness at the detriments of the other 2 metrics is often what people are getting at when it comes to selling out, where you have a fully codependent relationship to the systems and the people around you, where your entire worth is based on the momentary use that you can provide and the market can understand. So this often makes 2 main camps, the usefulness first people and the authenticity creativity first people. And a good musical example of this is wedding musicians versus noise music artists. In a world full of broke performers, wedding musicians are a rare example that can get paid, and paid consistently, because they are in general quite high in the usefulness department and quite low in the authenticity and creativity department. You generally hire a wedding band because they're really good at playing songs that others wrote in a familiar, easy to consume performance fashion. And alternatively, the noise musician generally heavily prioritizes their own authenticity, following what their heart yearns for, and creatively making sounds and performances oozing with things that you have never seen or heard before. And you also see this so commonly in the content world. How many musicians have achieved great success in terms of viewership and money from just playing covers on social platforms? They're not really doing anything very new, but they're inadvertently making something clearly useful for its entertainment value to the audience. When that guy makes a metal cover of a Katy Perry song, or a girl does a cute lo-fi cover of a trashy rap song, they're creating content that is a quite generic formula. But we like hearing it. It's useful to us for its simple entertainment value. And on the opposite end, there's countless musicians striving to make something new and honest and pouring their authentic selves into their music, but completely failing to make it in a format, medium, or frame that allows it to be useful to many people. Sure, of course. It might be that the authentic you, the creative you, just happens to be hella useful in this moment, and you just lined everything up kind of unknowingly. And if so, hell yeah. And generally people who are successful on their first try at something are unknowingly doing this. And yet, even if they start this way, they will probably hit a point where the 3 metrics stop lining up and they're going to be forced to try to pick between them. So, what are we to do? Is art dead and we just need to sell out if we ever want to have a chance at success? Well, it's not a bold statement to say that a world full of people who sacrifice their authentic selves and creativity is an incomparably worse world. And while maybe a bit more bold, is that your own life will be worse if you do that. If you constantly betray your own authenticity, constantly make little decisions where you betray what you believe is the best direction, and really rob you and those around you of some of the best parts of being a human. As the AI revolution is really taking over more and more mediums, we're learning that in many ways, it's the odd, slightly eccentric parts of humans that are really the things that AI can't replicate well. So the pursuit is to try to find in yourself the the music, the art, the content, the conversations, the life that not only has the biggest overlap of these three forces, but the greatest amounts of them. And any moments where that can happen are the ones that are most magical and worthwhile things that you will create. And so while this is so difficult, the formula is pretty simple. If you want things from the world, become useful to the world. If you want to foster and take care of your soul, pursue acting authentically and creatively. And if you want both, tirelessly pursue trying to find the overlap of all three. And everything I do on this channel is me striving towards finding that overlap of those three forces. And if something was useful for you here, I would love a like and a subscribe. So, I'm BABYWOLF. Go make some art.